No.
And some who are not.
Not hot. You're not.
Cold.
Right, we're looking for cold spots. So you guys should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy. This is really gonna work tonight. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Yeah, ladies, that was a joke. You can lighten up a little bit. So have some fun with this. That's the whole point. So it's not always gonna be so serious, just so you know. So looking for those cold spots, right? So those are gonna be blue and black because that's the way this is set up for the temps. But again, that's why I make the joke that I'm the hottest thing, red, orange, and yellow. Blue and black areas in this, I'm looking for them to either move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully we'll capture it again. Now, I get about 4 or 5 of those per year, not per episode. I am not a TV show host, just so you guys know. I love to throw stats at you, just so you know what to expect. So with this is, by the way, a FLIR thermal imaging camera. This is what firemen would use to actually go into a burning building to go help save somebody. So this is not a phone app you guys are going to be able to go home and download. I get a lot of people that ask me that all the time, so I just like to get it out of the way. So with this one, I usually... Everybody, congrats, you made it. I told you I'd take you to weird spots, but this used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston, which is exactly why we're here. Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to give you the history of the space, and then we're going to spread out and stay away from the vehicles. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with everybody to see what's going on with their gear, and make a determination if we're going to do one more or if we're going to pack it up and leave. Now, 1 second, there's always 4 of them. 3 and 4. Always 4. It is bike week up in the Myrtle Beach area, so they always migrate down here towards the weekend. So again, I just get used to it. But anyway, by the way, all you communication device people, this is where I start withholding information from on purpose. In essence, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Big Red Barn. You will be getting the answers from your communication devices, and you're going to tell me every little thing that you hear. Let's get into why we're here. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which one's here so we know how to address them. So, the son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for South Carolina, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman that recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box, mainly Amy's. So, didn't want to tell her that, but you got the point.
I mean, hers was going off already, so I was very
It's been beeping.
Oh.
So she and I are going to look at that like once we get everybody spread out. But I'm going to be talking about Eliza because her story is much better anyway, and not to mention I have a bunch of women in front of me. You're going to want to hear this story. Eliza marries Charles young, according to today's standards. And I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married to Charles, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial days that she came from. That's when young ladies got married. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. So I'm just going to put that out there, kind of giving you some subtle clues. Anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he could see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put, right here, got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, everybody. There's nothing horrific about this location at all. If anything, it's a place of respect. So moving on, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. None of you are wearing it right now because you're all dressed up in dresses. So, now, with that said, when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It is not always warm here. Then she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad overseas, told him that the rice plantations were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. She needed some contacts. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. Something absolutely unheard of, before we were even a country. So it's a very big deal. Not a whole lot of people actually talk about this woman, at least as far as tour guides down here. You can find a shit ton of books about her, but that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why most of you are here. So with each communication device, I'm going to give you a set of focus questions. You can either say these things out loud, or you can just focus on them. I'm here every night. She knows what we're going to ask. So that's why you're going to tell me all of the little things. Now, no matter if you're focused or thinking about, or saying them out loud, Julie, for example, if you're asking a question, Amy might get the answer. That's why I always use 2 communication devices. Even if it was just 2 of you here, I would be using something and you would be using something. So you got the point. So just tell me all the little things. So with yours, Amy, we're going to start with you. You're going to be focused on Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it. And the 4 major questions that we get answers to how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Yeah, very specific questions that have very specific answers. So, and I will do a close but no cigar. So if you hear one number off, no cigar. So that's the kind of mentality I like to keep. So
Wait, is she talking through the devices or talking through you?
she's gonna be,
So
Am I
did you?
confused?
Yeah. Well, my question is, you just asked it, so I don't have to actually ask.
not
right?
necessarily,
Okay. Oh.
but you will be focused on it. That's why I call them focus questions. That's why I assign those questions, so that way when you are kind of gallivanting around here and listening, you're hoping to capture some of those answers.
Okay.
So some
president
people love to ask things out loud because they watch the shows and they want to try it for themselves.
and
He was
president.
a ring
Yeah.
Bear.
bearer.
No,
That was the president.
pallbearer.
Pallbearer.
Yeah, pallbearer. And then
How old?
where did she die, right?
Well, where she's buried.
Or where she's buried, sorry.
So these are all very specific questions.
Yeah, they are.
Now,
I'm curious.
actually
now.
kind of nice that two of you are actually standing right next to each other. Of course, you're going to be looking for anything that's being spelled out directly, Heather, but I want you specifically looking for Eliza's initials.
Okay.
Those are ELP. The reason I'm giving you that is because she's the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first wife, also named Eliza, also has a maiden name that starts with the letter L.
Wow.
So you're going to be looking for which.
Now,
Eliza,
does
we're
it have
dealing
to be in order or
With
just
initials, I
Eliza?
want them in order.
Okay.
Anything else I'll take as an anagram. We've actually had an anagram of Eliza's name before. Like, it was one of the first nights we used that. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah.
But with initials, I want them in order.
Okay.
That's kind of how I've been training these folks. Like, hey, if you're going to give me initials, just tell them to me in order.
Okay.
So you're going to be looking for, obviously, Eliza's maiden name, so we know which one we're dealing with. So far we have 3 Chucks and 2 Elizas. So there are more duplicates. We're going to get into that. Your device only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So you're going to be focused on the mansion. It's not here anymore.
Okay.
So what happened to it? When did that happen? If we get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I'll give you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. So that's what you will be listening for. But
what
if you
happened to the mansion? When did it happen?
you got it. But if you hear anything else, I mean, obviously that one doesn't give us as much as Amy's. But if you actually hear anything at all, I still want to know what those things are.
Okay.
So just kind of, if you hear the word cheese, I want to know that you heard the word cheese, right?
Okay.
Obviously, cheese didn't destroy the mansion, right? So you get the point. But if you heard
Yeah.
something even funny like that, I still want to know what it is.
Okay.
So we do have some folks going to their car. I'm going to have you guys spread out, and you're going to definitely unmute at this point.
Do you change your questions every night?
No,
You said you're here every night.
every night.
Okay, so why do you ask those same questions?
They're the most common. These are the most common answers that we'll find. So there are other things that will show up because people do go rogue and they will ask their own questions, and that's actually how I learn about them. So when I continue to like,
Do you want us to go rogue?
What's it? You can if you want. The only thing I ask, if you're gonna go rogue, be respectful. No yes, no questions. So
Okay.
again, to me, that's not paranormal
No,
evidence.
yes, no. No,
No.
yes, no question.
No closed questions.
Yeah. Like
So
how you
I
would
don't-
talk to your kids. What did you do today?
No,
Right?
it is. Yeah.
So I just like those open-ended questions. Now, for example, the reason why I kind of stick to the same
Yes.
questions every night is because what happened to the mansion and the date that it occurred
Mhm.
actually wasn't a set of questions. It just happened to show up one night, and I had to research what those things were. That's why I say, tell me everything you hear. Now, I know 85 to 90% of what these puzzles look like. It's the other 10 to 15% I get excited about because I don't
It
know
might
what
be
those
another
numbers
piece of
mean.
the puzzle that you have
Exactly.
not had yet.
So again,
Cool.
it's usually, especially with a woman like Eliza, who's a prominent English woman, she's very prideful. So she's very
Yeah.
proud. So as long as we're respectful,
I
she'll
mean,
give us
should be.
other little breadcrumbs here and there where I get to research and see what's going on. Same thing with all of the questions I'm giving you tonight came from previous investigations.
Right.
You know, there used to be the is somebody here kind of mentality,
Right.
and now all of these breadcrumbs just show up all the time because it's what she's most, I guess, comfortable talking about. So, another kind of word of caution, and this is just from learning from other experiences. Do not ask about Eliza's children at all.
Okay.
I will
Or
explain
like,
before we
what if
leave.
now
That's
you
a
put it in my
sensitive
brain.
topic,
You
yeah.
said that you don't even have to say it out loud. Now I'm gonna think in my brain. Like, what?
Just focus on her death. It'll be all right. Death isn't always looked at as far as a, I guess, a positive thing either. But with Eliza's death, there's a lot of positive notes wrapped around it. So that's why I kind of like to tend to focus on the positive things about this woman's life. I will tell you all about the children before we leave. But if I give those questions to strangers, you guys will unintentionally poke the bear, and then
Yeah.
all activity will stop.
Well, I mean, it's off the table topic. I can respect that.
Have you seen
I'm not
anything
going
at
to
all
ask anything. I don't want to talk
since
about
we've been
that
here?
at all.
Nothing? Okay. All right. I actually have to keep Heather behind with me so I can show her how to use that thing a little bit more. Everybody else,
Okay.
spread out, get to work. Let's see what we can find.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Okay. So, what
Mansion.
happened to this mansion?
What happened?
Look in your thing and see. What happened to the mansion?
What happened to the mansion?
What was that?
What happened to the mansion? Can't understand what it's
It's
saying.
really hard to. What? I hear you.
The mansion?
No, somebody's saying. Should we keep walking?
Yeah. What happened to the mansion? What happened to the mansion? Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Hmm. What year was the mansion destroyed?
What happened to the mansion?
It's a person. Like a person. Right?
Well, they're right there.
Oh, it's them.
And that's Mary.
What happened to the mansion? Mary's getting anything yet?
Not yet.
Eliza, tell us about your beautiful mansion. I love a good house.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. Tell us about it.
What kind of square footage are we talking about, Eliza?
All right, Julie, have you figured out how to get to the wordless line? Got it. Let's see if we got
We
it.
can get a lot of activity right here.
What happened to the mansion?
What happened to the mansion?
If you see anything near me, you better tell me.
We just see you.
Okay, that's good.
And that person walking with you.
I was like, I see people walking, and I was like, oh, it's them. What happened to the mansion? Here.
Stand right here. Let's see if there's anyone by you.
Okay. Did I bring any spirits with me tonight? Nobody's attached.
Can you do it to me?
Yeah, let's see. Oop. Here.
No.
No. What happened to the mansion? Can you tell us? I was like
Thank
talking
you.
in this like they're in here. Like, tell me what happened.
What happened to your home? What happened to your home?
I don't like that.
Okay. Alright. So like, oh my gosh, of course. Like they keep saying Jesus, Jesus. I'm like,
In
like,
your ear?
like yeah. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, am I like not supposed to be doing
Are they saying that stuff?
Yeah, like
So like
full
on here,
Mm-hmm.
all I'm hearing is like random radio things. I
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
But if they talk to us, is it pretty clear in here or no?
So it's the radio that they're using. So I want you to think of the concept of, have you seen the movie Transformers?
Yeah.
Do you remember Bumblebee?
Yes.
He did not have a voice box.
So
It
he's
says, "How
using
did
the
you
radio
die?"
to communicate.
Exactly.
So
End
stuff
of
like
the
that.
something.
So
What
is
was the
that
other question?
that's them talking to us
Well,
then?
who's the
Possible.
president?
It's hard to understand.
It is. It's not an easy job.
No. And I'm the worst at hearing normal people talk.
I know.
So spirit box work is kind of my specialty. So
Okay.
when I get called to another paranormal team, because I'm a solo person, right? I don't have a team or anything like that. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, Nick, can you come help? It's normally because of what I'm capable of doing with those.
Okay.
So I will be able to find more about a space, and I don't want them to tell me anything. I just go in blind, I do my spirit box work, and then I do the research to see what's actually stuck.
Okay.
So, and that's where, I mean, because I do this every night, I can measure the results. So that's how I know that's 75% accurate, Julie's is 20%, Amy's is 30 to 50. You get the point. So I can actually gauge this to like, hey, what's going to be the best practice to be able to see how this is going to work out.
Okay.
And we're going to you'll see as we kind of move through the night, each experiment that we do at each location is a little bit different from the next. So you'll kind of see how we're going to do this as we move along. So anything weird out of the can, by the way, just remember I get about 4 or 5 pieces per year. Most of them are caught when I'm doing the media review. It's not usually a real-time thing. Not to disappoint, but if you're not recording, we're not going to find it. That's the whole thing.
I'm recording.
Yep.
You're recording.
But yeah, even if you hear the silly little thing, like you just heard, Take My Breath Away, the song lyric. She kind of chuckled about it. I'm like, well, first off, you don't know how Eliza died.
Interesting.
And I'm just kind of proving a point that she doesn't know. It has nothing to do with it, but
Right.
it could have been.
Okay.
That's the point. Again, it's those silly things. That's why if you hear the word cheese, I want to know if you heard the damn word cheese.
Well, I've heard random things, but nothing that I could form.
Okay?
Yeah,
If
I
you-
agree with that.
If you can make anything out, just remember, if you didn't hear it, you weren't meant to hear it.
Okay.
That's how I look at that, especially with that spirit box, because it omits so much noise out of it.
Okay. Interesting.
So, not an easy job at all.
Great.
You're welcome. Any numbers coming out of there, Mary?
Quick and the president.
How did your house
Not tonight.
go down? How did it go down? Will you tell us?
So, what was the president? How did you die?
Age at death.
Age of death.
There was a woman's
Age
voice
of
in there
that.
twice. Which was weird.
So, just so you know, this is actually a space where I expect really high the most EMF out of our
was-
entire So,
What?
this space
What
is
happened to
like
the
a-
mansion?
Oh no.
Is there anything cold? I feel cold. Wait, what? I heard, wait, what? What happened to your mansion? We're wondering. That was
I
here.
mean, we haven't even gotten to the 2.6.
Okay. I can't control the ghosts, so they're not on the payroll. They're not going to chat with us. They're not going to chat with us.
I heard a wait, what?
Wait, what? Okay, so you heard something. That's good. Amy, did you hear it too?
Just by myself. Don't
You didn't
know
hear that?
else.
Tell us about your mansion. We would love to hear about it if you don't mind.
8.
Please.
8 is as high as I can get.
Where was it?
Oh, it went down. 8.
Will you tell us about your mansion? It's got to be hard for them.
Scan me.
1.
You're there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
1.
Do I look good in red?
I'm sorry, it's really hard to understand you
Yes.
with this radio. What year did the mansion go down?
What happened to the mansion?
So I usually explain that before we go, but in the event that they measure electricity in the air, if it starts airing out.
Eliza, will you share with us what happened to the mansion, please?
Ward? Is that what I said?
More?
More?
4. But like spirits.
4?
4.
What happened to the mansion? What was it?
It said something.
What happened to the mansion?
5. 6.
It's all right.
7.
What happened to the mansion?
You just call my husband first.
What happened to the mansion? Eliza, if you're there, can you tell us, please, what happened to the mansion?
Alright. Jenny, you got anything else with yours?
I thought I heard it's all right.
Okay. I would say it's time to wrap it up. Aim at the super low. What's our word list look like? Just give me the last 3 terms.
External, gauze, aim, boat.
Wait, what?
External, gauze, aim, and boat.
It's all too vague for me.
Do form.
Oh, see, why'd you say name? I don't like that.
Alright, so go ahead and hit stop on your camera. Let's move to the back just in case another car comes in. And I'm going to give you all of the answers.
I told him, I was like, of course, like the only things that came like fully clear to me were Jesus. He was like, I mean, no.
It was weird.
It is.
Jesus didn't come to us.
I hate the headphones though. Like, sir,
Not your favorite?
not my favorite. But we're good. It's gravy, baby. But it was like,
Guys,
I just want my.
Did you hear it? Farmer.
Get low, get low. Pretty cool. I can't hear it.
I know where we are.
Yeah.
I love this live music over here.
I know, I do too. I love live music.
Rail? Did you hear that?
No. It's really hard for
Sorry,
me
I
to hear
distracted
because it's
her.
no, it's just hard for me to hear because of the music.
But we're not supposed to be listening now, right?
Yeah, we are.
Oh. Oh gosh, there's some really good country songs I'm missing right now.
This is neat.
I'm sorry, that's so bad. Get low, get low.
This way.
Leave it.
That's
Oh
cute.
gosh. She's in.
She's in the zone. Oh.
Remember to shoot the. Okay. So I think I heard 5. I heard farmer pretty clear.
Okay.
I heard rail, I think. And I don't know.
Which was crazy because we were right by that market.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What'd you get on yours? Did you get anything?
You said get low, get low.
Get low. To the window.
Was that playing?
Yes.
That song?
All right, let's get you on mute, Jenny,
Okay.
because we do have other tours near us. So again, we're going to be. I'm going to basically tell you what goes on here, and then we're going to get out of here. So to understand this alley completely, you have to be in it, and not to mention it is one of the most beautiful spots we have here in Charleston. So I did tell you guys I do change this up every year. This was the one I was going to take out this year, but this guy follows me from location to location. We're going to be near all of his raised emotion spots. So again, why not just start out his origin story and keep him in the route? I will tell you that I was going to take the Pinckney Mansion out because I was getting very rude ghost hunters on your end, like, come on Eliza, and then they're taking a leak in the corner disrespectfully, and I was getting nasty messages coming through spirit boxes. So I kind of gave it a break.
Mean.
Yeah, but every night I walk through that location before I meet up with my groups, and I tell them who's coming. So tonight, the only thing I could do was give them Jenny's name, because that's all I knew, and how many people she was bringing with her. It's just kind of my little pact with Eliza. I just do it every night. Just
So you walk around and like talk.
Yeah. People, I'm the weirdo walking around talking to myself. I got the giant backpack and that kind of thing.
Can I ask you a question though? Like, wouldn't this situation just like whoever's like
I need to know all the details.
Here's how this story goes. Every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple for everybody. It's another reason I wanted to take this out of my route. But here's how it goes. Doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. So in the event that we get the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence, we get it all the time. So there's another kind of a you're listening for it kind of mentality.
But you said it wasn't significant to them.
That's why I was asking.
This is also the reason why I have the Ouija board device. So the letters RI were showing up on a regular spirit box all the time. I didn't know if it was relevant to Rhode Island or something else I'm about to mention. So Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with the cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his medical practice down here and prove that he's not. So on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here. It's like having a really bad Uber driver today. Yeah, there's a joke. Now, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs, same initials as where the doctor came from. I bought that device to clarify what I was getting off of the spirit box that Amy's using. We've had the letters RI 7 times in the past year whenever I brought up Ralph's name, so now I know where it's relevant. Back to Ralph. He tells Dr. Ladd, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay with them, and you'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own with his medical practice. She gets wind of this, and she's moving down, so that way they could be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. It's the 1780s. Men whistled all the time. It's another reason why I hate this story, is because it's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. So that's another reason why I hate this story.
No,
Now,
I was just saying always. Yeah.
with that,
Thank you.
let's talk about the duel, because that's why we're here. You're in Dueler's Alley. This is called Philadelphia Alley now. We are here because Dr. Ladd had a duel. Let's get into it. Doc and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So on the way home from seeing Richard III one night, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw, and Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turned into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of thing. Doc saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. Somebody's going to die. All this over an actress, by the way. That's how the argument started, if you recall. I know it ended with the insults on his fiancée, but you get the point. So the two gents came down back to back. They took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. Doc points his gun in the air. Shoots his one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel.
That was Eric.
Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. He didn't kill his friend either. But he proved his point. He's pissed off, not willing to forgive. Doc's friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Let me point out two things. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. He's also a doctor.
Right.
Probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. Obviously, he failed because he died. Now, every tour tells you to listen for the whistles while you're down there. We do have a camera running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, which is rare, I will tell you it will show up on one of those our two devices. However, Amy's device, I have caught more whistling parts of songs and the word doctor immediately from a commercial. I can't tell you how many times it's actually come up. So it happens all the time. So you also have to remember the increments of time that I listen to that spirit box. Minute 1, 5, 10, 15. It is showing up while we're in this area. So you're going to see that as I kind of go. It might even show up in your notes tonight. I have no idea. If I stumble across it, I definitely make a note of it. Now, if you're going to try this on your own, because I can't take you all the way through here, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I haven't got to that point yet. No, that's what she heard on her spirit box earlier, didn't you? Wait, what? Isn't that what you heard earlier? That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
So, if you try this using a voice recorders from your phone, and you walk all the way through, just remember every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, they all throw a whistle down the alley, me included. So, yeah, it's just something we do here in Charleston. We all know this alley, we all know what it is. However, let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there, halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. Reason why is this was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Avenue. So we're talking early 1700s. Why am I telling you this? The bricks down on the other side are older because they were laid first. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children down there. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there in one of those bricks and fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my groups all the way through for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick because you already know how I feel about cemeteries. The kid's not there. It's the last place you're going to find him. November 26th of 2020. Took my entire group of 10 down there, and they're all huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to scurry them along because I know nothing's going to happen. Secondly, we're standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds for tours that time of night. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was on the tour that night, and her father was getting yelled at, so she was all about it. So it was a funny thing for her.
Amen.
We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. Anyway, the next day was the 28th. I called my partner that brought me into tourism out of retail, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what to do next, and he's laughing at me too, just like my daughter did. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. That's the cutoff point for tours that time of night. You're going to have to reroute your group. So what I told my group that night, because it's Black Friday and I'm sold out again, I'm still a new guy on the block, I said, I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen over there at the Powder magazine, but we're going to see what goes on because I'm into vampires, not pirates. We're going to see if we can even discuss the pirate story when we get over there. I'll explain that because, again, I got kicked out of that spot a couple of nights ago, last week. Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, so before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we are going to be discussing. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny.
Sorry, what?
Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. We go up and around the corner. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. No idea what it means. I write it down. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Wow.
So I was actually kind of pissed. Let me explain. Master's degree in creative writing. When I'm writing anything, especially dealing with paranormal activity or anything like this, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. So, in the event that we go up and around the corner, they've been kind of monitoring that area because they don't want tourists cutting through it anymore. So I've been treading lightly. However, there is another piece of history around that corner that we will find. We're going to swap cameras. Me and Amy are going to flip those out. Which, by the way, you guys can flip your devices around. So again, you're not like bound to the device that I handed off to you. So if there's something you're uncomfortable with at this point, I would say go ahead and look at Amy.
Does it say anyone want the camera?
I'll take camera. You want
So
this?
I've had like,
Sure.
I don't know if that's anything relevant, but Hop, Man, Tim.
You might hear more. Like I'm
Jake.
shut off.
I want to see the word.